Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a problem that, let's be honest, every single developer has faced. How do you keep all the different parts of a complex system from disagreeing with each other? We're going to break down a really powerful blueprint from Martin Kleppmann that shows us how to build applications that are not only massively scalable, but also correct, genuinely provably correct.
We've all seen the glitches, right? You know the feeling. You delete something, but there it is, staring back at you in the search results. Or you get a notification for someone you unfriended ages ago. These aren't just random little bugs. No, they're symptoms of a much deeper problem, a sign that the different parts of our application are living in completely different realities.
And this really gets to the heart of the challenge for any modern engineer. The truth is, there's no single magic tool that can do it all. You're always going to need a database for your core transactions, a search index for fast queries, a cache for speed. The list goes on. Each one is a specialist. So the real dilemma is, how on earth do you weave all of these specialists together into one single coherent application that doesn't just completely fall apart? So how do we fix this? Well, the solution starts with a surprisingly simple but incredibly profound idea. It's a foundational principle for orchestrating all these different systems and basically forcing them to agree on one single version of the truth.
Okay, so on the left, you see the approach that most of us would probably try first, and it's a total recipe for disaster. The application tries to write to the database, then the search index, then the cache, all at the same time. If just one of those writes fails, or even just happens in the wrong order, that's it. Your systems are permanently out of sync. Now, the correct approach on the right is to write every change exactly once to an ordered event log. Think of this log like a river. It's the single source of truth. The cache, the search index, your analytics pipeline, they're all just lakes fed by this one river. And because they're all drawing from the same source, in the same order, they literally can't disagree. They have to stay in sync.
And the magic that makes this river possible? It's a technology called Change Data Capture, or CDC. Now, instead of us writing a ton of complex application code, we just tap directly into the database's own internal log, the one it's already using to replicate itself. We're essentially taking that private log, that write-ahead log, and treating it as a public broadcast, a stream of every single thing that ever happens. And we just publish it for any other system to see.
And I love this quote because it just perfectly captures the power of this idea. The log is like a court stenographer, creating a single, official, chronological transcript of events. There's no room for argument. The search index, the cache, they all read from the same transcript, so they have to agree on what happened and when. This is the bedrock of consistency.
But here's where things get really interesting. This idea of a central log doesn't just help us sync data. It fundamentally changes how we can process that data, and it even lets us completely rethink what a database even is in the first place.
For a long time, the standard way to handle both real-time data and historical data was this thing called the Lambda Architecture. And the idea was you'd have two separate pipelines for your data. But it had a fatal flaw. You had to write all of your logic twice, once for the fast, real-time streaming layer, and then again for the slow batch processing layer. This dual codebase was an absolute nightmare of bugs and complexity.
And this leads us to this massive aha moment. Batch processing isn't some different kind of processing. It's just stream processing on a stream that has an end, your historical data. With a unified system, you can use the exact same code to process live events as they happen and to go back and reprocess years of history. That is the key to being able to evolve your applications safely over time.
Now, this idea of unifying our data streams lets us take an even bigger leap. It lets us unbundle the database itself. We tend to think of a database as this single monolithic black box, but what happens if we actually look inside? What you find is that it's really just a bundle of different features, all tightly coupled together. And what if we could unbundle each of those features and replace them with a specialized, best-in-class tool? The database's internal replication log, that becomes our public Kafka pipeline. Its secondary index, that's now a dedicated Elasticsearch cluster. It's like we're exploding the monolith into this flexible, incredibly powerful ecosystem where every component is connected by that same central event log. Just look at the power this gives you. Instead of being locked into your database's built-in and, let's face it, often pretty mediocre features, you can swap in purpose-built tools. You're no longer stuck with some clunky full-text search when you can plug in a powerhouse like Elasticsearch. This gives you unbelievable flexibility. You get to compose a system from the absolute best tools for every single job, and it's all orchestrated by that central log.
Okay, so this all sounds great, right? But it raises a huge critical question. If everything is unbundled and asynchronous and all loosely coupled, how in the world do we guarantee that a really critical operation, like a customer's payment, happens exactly once and only once? How do we maintain correctness in all this chaos?
Well, the answer comes from a foundational principle in computer science, the end-to-end argument. And the core idea is simple. You can't just trust the plumbing in the middle to get it right. The network has no clue if a user meant to click submit twice. That intelligence, that logic for correctness, has to live at the absolute ends of the system, from the user's initial click all the way down to the final database record.
And here is exactly how we do that in practice. It's so clever. First, the client sends a payment request, but it adds something extra, a totally unique ID for this specific request. In step 2, the server starts processing the payment, but then disaster strikes in step 3. The network dies before the server can send back a success message. So, what does the client do? In step 4, it does the only safe thing it can. It retries sending the exact same request with the exact same unique ID. And here's the magic in step 5. The database sees that request underscore ID, recognizes it's already processed this payment, and simply rechecks the duplicate right. The customer is never charged twice, correctness is guaranteed from end to end without any complex coordination protocols.
This brings us to probably the most important distinction in this entire discussion. You know, we throw the word consistency around a lot, but it really means two very different things. A violation of timeliness, that's annoying. Your social media feed might be a few seconds out of date. But a violation of integrity? That is catastrophic. That's your bank balance being wrong. This architecture lets us strategically relax timeliness to get huge performance gains, while we use techniques like idempotence to absolutely 100% guarantee integrity.
And this incredible new architectural power, this ability to build systems at a truly global scale, it brings with it a profound ethical responsibility, and we absolutely have to talk about it. The systems we build are never neutral. They make decisions, and those decisions directly impact human lives. An algorithmic bug isn't just a software error anymore. When you deploy that bug at a global scale, it becomes a powerful automated mechanism for causing systemic harm. It's a disaster.
And these are not just some theoretical problems. This is happening right now. When an algorithm decides who gets a loan, who gets a job, or who gets to post bail, it's making life-altering decisions. And when our models are trained on biased historical data, they don't just reflect that bias back at us, they amplify it. They lock it into code and deploy it as the new, invisible, and unquestioned infrastructure of our society.
So as we build, we need a playbook. And this table, right here, is that playbook. It pulls together everything we've talked about into a set of practical principles. It's a guide for making choices that lead to systems that are not just scalable and correct, but also auditable and humane. And check out that last row, continuous end-to-end auditing. That central log we started this whole conversation with, it's not just for consistency, it's an immutable audit trail. It gives us the power to investigate and question the decisions our systems make, demanding proof instead of just relying on blind trust. So ultimately, this leaves all of us with a challenge that goes way beyond technology. The tools and patterns we've discussed today give us immense power. And with that power comes a duty to think deeply about the impact of our work and to build systems that are not just technically elegant, but are also humane and just.